Mexican superstar Saul Canelo Alvarez exposes and has a stern message for Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions. Stay tuned, coming up next.
Hey, this is Cassie, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So Saul Canelo Alvarez exposes the fact that Golden Boy Promotions has signed off on things that he was unaware of, causing him to lose his titles. He was stripped of the IBF title, and we know that he was going to be stripped of the WBC title, but he was then elevated to the franchise champion of the WBC title in order for him to avoid fighting his mandatory in Jermall Charlo, undefeated middleweight superstar boxer. Jermall Charlo was awarded the regular WBC title. Saul Canelo Alvarez was elevated to franchise WBC champion, in which he doesn't have to fight his mandatories. As of late, Saul Canelo Alvarez was trying to get a deal done with Sergey Derevyanchenko, who fought Daniel the Miracle Man Jacobs for the vacant IBF title, and Danny Jacobs beat Sergey Derevyanchenko, and he was awarded the IBF title. Daniel Jacobs then went on to fight Saul Canelo Alvarez in a unification bout, as Canelo Alvarez held the WBC and the WBA titles that he already previously won from Gennady Triple G Golovkin, right? Now they went on to fight. Obviously, Saul Canelo Alvarez was victorious in the fight against Daniel the Miracle Man Jacobs, awarded him the IBF title. So now he held the IBF, the WBA, and the WBC titles, okay? Then that took place that he lost the WBC title because he would have had to face his mandatory in Jermall Charlo, and it was reported that he did not want to face Jermall Charlo, so he was threatening to vacate the belt. The WBC didn't want to lose him as a representative of their sanction body, so they awarded him to be the franchise champion. Now, move on. Saul Canelo Alvarez usually fights on the two Mexican holidays, that being Cinco de Mayo weekend, May 5th, and September 14th, Mexican Independence Day weekend. He then vacated the September 14th date. He fought May 5th, that was against Daniel Jacobs. The September 14th date, he vacated because he couldn't, he reported that he couldn't find a credible opponent to face on that date, and he did not want to fight Gennady Triple G Golovkin in a trilogy match. He originally said that he wanted to face the winner of Selecki and Demetrius Andrade because he wanted to be undisputed. He wanted to become the first Mexican middleweight undisputed champion in the history of the sport of boxing, right? Immediately following the Daniel Jacobs fight, he was up in the air as to what he wanted to do. But now I'm starting to question if he was truly up in the air or if it was the powers that be behind the scenes that were pushing him and pulling him in a certain direction. Because it seems like the Zone, the app that he fights on, the platform that he fights on, that's the Zone, wanted him to face Gennady Triple G Golovkin as they signed Triple G to a lucrative multi-million-dollar deal to fight on the Zone as recently as I want to say it was around April, right? They just signed Gennady Triple G Golovkin, all in hopes of staging a trilogy match between Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin on their platform, right? Saul Canelo Alvarez had other plans. He does not want to fight Gennady Triple G Golovkin in a trilogy match, right? He then went on to say that if Gennady Golovkin had a belt, then he would fight him because he wants to fight for undisputed. So it's looking like Canelo Alvarez truly wants to get undisputed, but it seems like the powers that be, the Zone and his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions, have other plans. And they may be playing tug of war with him, trying to push him in a certain direction, and he's throwing his weight around stating that, listen, I'm not going in that direction, I'm going in the direction I want to go in, right? They don't want him to face Gennady Triple G. He doesn't want to face Gennady Triple G Golovkin, but they don't want him to face Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade for undisputed. They want that big lucrative money fight, which is Gennady Golovkin, right? Triple G. That's what they want. Meaning the powers that be, DAZN and Golden Boy, right? They want the big money fight. I don't know so much of Golden Boy, but I know DAZN definitely wants it. And it may be a part of the agreement that Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions agreed with, came to terms with DAZN as to when they signed Canelo Alvarez to that $350 million deal. I think that Canelo Alvarez, to his unknown, he wasn't privy that, you know, this was part of the deal. So Canelo Alvarez throws his weight around. He picks and chooses when and where, who he wants to fight. And now they're trying to pull him in a certain direction. And I think that is becoming a situation of tug of war. And so this fight with Sergey Derevyanchenko, you know, they couldn't come to as far as money, right? And I find that very odd that DAZN and Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotion couldn't come up with enough money to pay Sergey Derevyanchenko for the IBF mandatory. So then Canelo Alvarez was then stripped of his belt. And so with that said, I'm wondering if Canelo Alvarez was on board with the whole situation with the WBC and Jamal Charlo, because that's not what DAZN wanted. And I don't know if so much if Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions wanted the Charlo fight, but I think that they may have been in bed with DAZN, and this may have been part of the deal to fight Gennady Triple G Golovkin, but Canelo Alvarez truly doesn't want to go in that direction. So it leaves me to question, was Canelo Alvarez on board with the whole situation with the WBC to begin with? You understand? Because it seems like he definitely wasn't on board with this entire situation with the IBF. As he stated, he's very, very disappointed in the way Golden Boy Promotions and they signed off on something that he knew nothing of. So it seems like they're doing business behind the scenes, and Canelo Alvarez is not aware truly of what's taking place. And so he seems to be very, very upset with the way things are being handled behind the scenes with Golden Boy Promotions, as he put up a post and stated that, and you know he's upset because most of his posts are up in Spanish, right? He put this post up. Now, I'm pretty sure somebody wrote it for him, but it's up in English. So he wanted everybody to understand exactly where he was coming from. He said that he is just as disappointed as his fans that he's been stripped of his belt, and he wasn't privy of somebody else signing off on stuff that he knew nothing about. And he's very disappointed. So it leads me to question, was he on board with the situation with the WBC? Maybe it was presented to him that, hey, listen, the WBC wants to elevate you to a franchise champion because of your status. And he was on board with that. You understand? Because you don't see Canelo Alvarez, if he doesn't have a fight, if it's not a fight is being discussed, if it's not fight week, fight month, during press conference, you don't see Canelo Alvarez in between fights like that. You don't see him doing interviews. You don't see him on networks. You don't see Canelo Alvarez. So I'm wondering if he's even aware of these things that take place. He's not even in the States most of the time. He's in Mexico. So what takes place here in the States and what's being discussed here in the States, I wonder if he's even aware of these things. So what took place with the WBC, I wonder if he was truly aware of what was taking place before it took place. You see what I'm saying? Because DAZN didn't want no parts of Jamal Charlo because they want Triple G fight. So Golden Boy might have been in bed with them and had an agreement with them. Listen, part of that $350 million deal that he signed was fighting Triple G Golovkin, right? And Golden Boy was trying to maneuver, because they knew he wasn't going to be on board with it. As he stated, he wanted to be undisputed. And it's hard for me to believe that he didn't want to go for undisputed. He would let 2 belts go and then jump in negotiations with Demetrius Andrade, because that makes no sense. Because that fight could be for undisputed. And we all know how much Canelo Alvarez loves to fight on those Mexican holidays, as he was very, very clear that he wanted to take those dates back from Floyd Mayweather. So for him to not fight on September 14th says a lot. And it says that it's a possibility that a lot of stuff is going on behind the scenes that Canelo Alvarez is not aware of. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
The Blue